Yep.
Thank you.
We're rolling. Right here live from the South Bronx, USA. Your host, Willie Estrada. I'm a man from Sweden. Introduce yourself.
My name is Zerjon from Sweden. Gothenburg represent.
All right. and his lady friend, Nina.
Nina.
She left the Pinta and the Santa Maria home. they'll be coming the next time we come. But anyway, you see, this whole thing was rebuilt too. This new track here, you know, and then those buildings behind there are pretty new. And those behind here were rebuilt. But there was a time when most of this out here and all those buildings that there, and you see those little houses down at the end over there, there's a bunch of little nice private houses. Those were all 6-story buildings there. And there was a whole row of them going from Jackson Avenue down to St. Anne's Avenue were all burned down. And they were nice buildings. They were all burnt down. And you'd find bodies in those buildings. I remember one time passing down the street and the cops were there in front of the building and there was a dead body inside. And they said, hey, you're from this area? And I'm like, yeah. He said, would you mind looking at a dead body to see if you can identify him? And I'm like, so you're not scared of that stuff? I'm like, no, man. I've seen a lot of dead bodies in my life. You know, there's a thing that you get used to seeing stuff like that if you're living in the South Bronx, right? So I went in there and I knew the guy. I said, oh yeah, that's Johnny. He lives over on 146th Street. And apparently they had tortured him, shot him up, and then they threw him from the middle of the stairwell down from, I guess, a high floor. And he was splattered all over the place, but you know, his face was still kind of intact, even though it was bruised up. And it was gory. It was nasty. I said, but I didn't flinch. I just said, yeah, that's Johnny. He was right there. I said, okay, thank you. And I walked out, and that's the same building my brother used to live in when we were growing up. So
how do you know Mr. Wiggles?
Mr. Wiggles?
Yeah. Was he living there around here?
Wiggles lived not that far from here. Wiggles lived about, I would say it's about a mile from here, something like that. You know? So anyway, yeah, Wiggles, I didn't know him in that time. Hey, Tony! What's going on, buddy? Todo bien? Tranquilo. So anyway, yeah, Wiggles, I know him from, I only met Wiggles like 3 years ago when Fable found me, but we soon became, you know, real good friends. And we've been very close ever since. I went on tour with Rocksteady Crew to Europe last November, and I had a great time with them. We started putting a routine together with me, Wiggles, and Why Not, Tony Why Not, who's another brother of mine. I love him to death. You know, we always have fun together, you know. And me at my age, I went on tour with Rocksteady at the age of 55 years old. People were like, wow, you know, they couldn't believe when I told them my hair, because most of the time I dye my hair. But you see, I haven't dyed it as of late. But you know what I'm saying? Because my daughter's always telling me, Dad, dye your hair, you're looking old. And I said, but I don't feel old, Lindsay. And then I lost like 30 pounds since last year because of my dancing. So I like this, you know, because my brother was out here before. You know? So it was the dancing that got me back. And this is the track where I sometimes run. You know, I just come here. We play soccer here, you know, and we can sit around. And like I said, on the weekends, this place is jam-packed. But and to reiterate, this park was, let's go through here. This is an interesting area up here. This park was really nasty. And you see, it's a mile all the way around. So when I was in training, because I used to be a boxer and a martial artist, I used to run around the perimeter of the park, and it's a mile all the way around. So I would run 10 times around the park. Sometimes I would run like maybe 5 or 6 times around the park and then run down to Yankee Stadium and run in their track for another few miles and then run back home. And back in them days, I didn't smoke, and I was in great shape because that's all I did was work out. Look at this guy doing some Tai Chi right here.
Zoom in lite.
You know, it's funny because I come here to do that as well, and I just commune with nature. And I'll show you a spot where one time I was meditating for, I don't know, for about half an hour. I'm gonna show you the spot, we'll go up in a minute, but I had my eyes closed, and when I opened my eyes, this is the power of meditation, I saw the park in its original form, and it was a forest. And I seen, you know, like no building in the background, it was like a little vision. And it only lasted a few seconds, but it was really, really good feeling, you know, to see that, you know. So because I was communing with nature. I still do that sometimes. I come out to the park, and I lay in the grass, or just make contact with the ground, and I just try to commune with Mother Earth, you know. It's a weird thing for some people to hear, But you know, our planet's a living planet. You know what I mean?
Can I-
It has a soul.
Can I ask